This stunning mountain range, stretching across North America, is rightfully considered one of the most scenic places in the U.S.
Hard to believe that at some point, this area was covered by a sea. Home to a vast number of underwater giants, true monsters for whom any marine predator alive today would have been easy prey. That sea was named the Western Interior Seaway. And 80 million years ago, it divided what later became North America into two parts, Laramidia in the west and Appalachia in the east. At its greatest size, it was 2,500 feet deep. 600 miles, 970 kilometers wide, and over 2,000 miles, 3,200 kilometers long. Ancient waters were ruled by giant reptiles, up to 50 feet in length. Giant turtles as large as modern SUVs. Colossal predatory fish, up to 20 feet long, capable of swallowing human-sized prey whole. Some creatures were so powerful that they could easily crush a car with their jaws. But the most iconic figure of this ancient sea was the ultimate predator. The deadliest and most invincible underwater inhabitant of all time. The Western Interior Seaway was home to everything terrifying and gigantic that you can and cannot imagine. The Western Interior Seaway was home to everything terrifying and gigantic that you can and cannot imagine. The first one of these incredible predators we want to introduce to you goes by the name of Tylosaurus. And believe me, if it suddenly appeared in our seas, it would be a true titan of terror for all marine creatures without exception. It belonged to the genus Mosasaurus, an extinct group of giant marine reptiles,
and was one of the largest representatives of its kind. Tylosaurus porger was the most common and one of the largest species. In 100 length, reaching a length of 46 feet and weighing approximately 18,800 pounds. But don't be deceived by
it was a very fast and agile predator, able to hunt confidently in the dark and devour other large predators with ease.
its flexible aerodynamic body allowed Tylosaurus to reach high speeds, making it extremely difficult for the prey to escape.
Its massive tail, which made up almost half of its entire body length, enabled it to easily maneuver while chasing prey.
With a lightweight, kinetic skull, this giant could swallow surprisingly large prey. In the stomach of the relatively small Tylosaurus nepiolocus, they found teeth of the huge Tychodus mortoni,
which could reach 33 feet in length, and remains of Platycarpus planifrons, a marine lizard from the Moses.
As you can see, Tylosaurus wasn't picky about food. It ate everything in its path.
Small animals, other large predators, and even members of its own genus, the mosasaurs.
The length of its skull was 4 to 5 feet on average,
allowing it to bite off large chunks of prey or swallow them whole, much like modern monitor lizards.
Recently, the skeleton of a small, short-necked Plesiosauria dolichoncops, a reptile about 8 feet long.
It's hard to imagine, but it swallowed this reptile whole,
breaking a few of its bones in the process, yet not even scratching the bones with its teeth. As for Tylosaurus's teeth, they were extremely sturdy, flattened on the inside with a rounded outer surface,
Likely for holding on to slippery, agile marine creatures.
the perfect killing machine from which there was no escape.
perfect killing machine, from which there was no escape.
If a potential victim tried to hide in the deep, where visibility was poor, Tylosaurus could easily find it there.
Aided by clusters of sensitive nerve endings, or perhaps even electroreceptors located on the tip of its skull, the rostrum. Some skulls have been found with a broken rostrum that had healed during the animal's lifetime, with a bony growth forming in its place. This species was really aggressive, as evidenced by numerous discovered signs of skeletal damage sustained as the result of battles with various predators,
often including their own kind. It's believed that regular interspecies conflicts among Tylosaurus and other mosasaurs were common.
Instead of hunting weaker prey, they fought each other, often wounding and eating one another, rarely surviving to old age.
If the largest Tylosaurus were to swim alongside today's great white shark, it would definitely make the shark quite nervous.
At 47 feet in length, it would be more than 3 times the size of the shark and 8 times as heavy.
With a mouth over 5 feet long, almost half the length of the entire great white shark, this underwater monster could easily bite it in half. Tylosaurus was undoubtedly one of the most formidable predators of the Western Interior Seaway.
However, it wasn't the species ruling these ancient waters.
Among its relatives in the Mosasauridae genus, another fearsome creature, Mosasaurus hoffmanni, was a strong contender.
Mosasaurus hoffmanni, a giant whose appearance instills real terror.
It was a distant relative of monitor lizards that decided the seas would be a better environment for them.
And they were right.
This species of mosasaur is the type species of its genus and belongs to the subfamily Mosasaurinae.
Among the dozens of other mosasaurs, it stood out for its monstrous size and incredibly powerful build. This species was literally the pinnacle of evolution within its family.
A perfectly balanced predator.
This marine monster reached colossal proportions. One lower jawbone found in the Penza region of Russia was 5.5 feet long.
There have been other jaw fragments that indicate lengths of up to 6.5 feet.
Estimates of the total length of Mosasaurus hoffmanni vary, averaging between 50 to 56 feet.
Some researchers suggest it could have been 43 feet, 13 meters long.
While others theorize lengths exceeding 56 feet. In any case, this mosasaur was the largest marine predator of its time.
And could have been larger than any other marine predator of the Cretaceous period.
The weight of M. hoffmanni might range from 33,000 to 60,000 pounds. If we go by the maximum size and weight estimates, we're looking at the largest carnivorous marine reptile among hyperpredators.
Compared to the great white shark, this monster was 4 times greater in length.
And more than 20 times heavier.
The reptile's skull stood out among other mosasaurs for its sheer might.
Unlike the jaws of Tylosaurus, which were extremely flexible and mobile.
The jaws of this giant were less functional and likely sawed through the flesh with back and forth movements. Its deep-rooted teeth aided this process.
The crowns were powerful, slightly flattened on the sides, with sharp cutting edges.
Slowly used for crushing and slicing flesh.
Still, with jaws as long as the average human height, this animal could not only saw through its prey,
but also swallow enormous chunks.
Unlike some predators with an excellent sense of smell, such as the bonnethead shark, which can detect a few drops of blood from miles away.
This underwater giant relied on its eyesight for hunting. Its large eye sockets allowed it to capture more light, resulting in far-reaching vision.
However, its binocular vision was weak.
Only covering an angle of about 29 degrees.
This predator couldn't accurately estimate the distance to its prey.
But it didn't really need to.
As for the lack of a strong sense of smell, there's a theory that the reason for this was its absolute dominance as a hyperpredator.
Its status allowed Mosasaurus hoffmanii to feed on fresh prey and avoid scavenging,
which it would have needed a strong sense of smell for.
Why sniff out dead prey when evolution had given everything to become the best underwater predator? Its main objective was to spot the prey. It was a done deal.
With a long, streamlined body. Point functional flippers.
And a well-developed shark-like fin at the end of its tail.
It was able to reach high speeds and maneuver pretty well. Perhaps as effectively as its relative, the Tylosaurus.
M. hoffmanii was an active apex predator.
Its prey included the largest marine creatures, from giant fish, including sharks,
And even its own kind.
Like Tylosaurus, the Mosasaurus often engaged in deadly battles with each other, with the victor cannibalizing the loser.
It's believed that this predator could also ambush its prey in deep water,
and was capable of long pursuits.